Hi, I'm Chef Keith Snow. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make what I call my fall or winter lasagna. It's a really interesting combination and I'll show you how to do it immediately. Some of the ingredients are leeks, and these have been carefully cleaned because leeks are loaded with sand and dirt. They grow in sandy soil, and as they push up they collect a lot of dirt on these inner leaves. So these were cleaned and they were carefully rinsed in ice cold water. The first step is to get these over here in this pot. So I'm going to turn that on. It's been preheated a little bit, and then we're going to slice these up and get them in there. We don't have to be too careful of the shape of these leeks because they're going to cook way down. So don't get overly worried about making a perfect cut. Just slice them up. And you can see I have mostly white and a little bit of the green part. And when you take a stalk of leeks, of course they're white at the bottom and then they get green. I cut off at least that much of the green part. You can use it for stock or other things, but it's not really great for this application. So we will take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the bottom of our Dutch oven here. And then I will transfer this using my hands right in there. Get that all into the pot. And now I'll put in a little bit of garlic. Take a spoon. Get our garlic in there. And now I'll use some of our Harvest Eating house seasoning and give this a liberal douse. So just want to toss this around in the olive oil and let those leeks saute and cook down. In the meantime, let's talk about the rest of our ingredients. This is kale, and this is very in season in the fall and the winter. Beautiful stuff. And what I've done to the kale is I've cooked it down with a shallot and a little bit of garlic and some chicken broth for about 40 minutes until it's soft and tender. That's one ingredient for our lasagna. The other one is these sweet potatoes. And what I've done, these are organic sweet potatoes, and you can see they're very thin. I've used a mandolin to slice them, and if you don't have a mandolin, you can slice them by hand. Try to get them as thin as possible. They're soaking in a little water to prevent brownness. And then I have two types of cheese. Gruyere cheese, which is a Swiss cheese. It's made from cow's milk, very sharp. Then underneath, I've got a fresh mozzarella. And this was a hand-stretched mozzarella that I bought in a store. Very creamy and delicious, mild in flavor. The combination of those two with these other ingredients will be delicious. And then, in this lasagna, we use what's called sauce bechamel. No tomato sauce, just a white sauce. And this is an interesting recipe that you can use in a lot of ways. If you search the website for bechamel sauce, you'll find out how to make that. So while this cooks, I will show you the lasagna that we're going to use. And this is what they call no-boil lasagna. You can use the regular type that you have to boil. They're a bit of a pain in the neck if you ask me. So these come just like this, a sheet. And you don't have to boil them. You can put them in like this, uncooked, and then when you cook your lasagna, they're perfectly done. They've got a great texture. Give these a try. So let me cook this for a few minutes, and then I'll show you how to assemble this lasagna. Okay, our leeks have completely cooked down. They're nice and soft. Now let's start assembling this fall-winter lasagna. The first thing that I want to do is take some of our bechamel sauce, and I'm going to put some in the bottom of our little lasagna tray here, which really isn't a lasagna tray, it's actually a roasting dish, but you use what you have. So we'll put some of this down, and this is just sort of a little base to keep the shells from the pasta from sticking to the bottom. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. That will work. Now we'll take some of this pasta, lasagna shell, and lay it right in there. Some of them are broken, but that's just fine. In fact, I'll break this one And now we'll start layering. The first layer, we'll take our sweet potatoes. We'll pretend we're dealing cards, just sort of lay them out. And these are nice and thin, so they'll cook quite easily. And one thing to remember, these are uniform. Whatever you do, if you cut them yourself, make sure that you don't have thick pieces and then thin pieces, because you could have some that are not cooked properly, and you don't want that. Okay, so we have a decent layer there. We're going to take some of our cooked leeks and get some leeks sort of spread out. I'm aiming only to make 2 layers in this pan. I'm not going to stack it all the way up to the moon. So we'll take these beautiful leeks, put those in there, and now we'll reach for some of our kale, and this is cool, as you can see. And I can guarantee you've probably never tried this dish. So make sure you tell your friends about the video. You should be able to email it to them. Vegetarians would like this. It does have, you know, some chicken broth and cheese in it, but it is certainly would qualify vegetarian. There's no meat. And then we'll move our cheese over here, and we'll take a good bunch of cheese. And I know my daughter's going to love this because she loves cheese, loves pasta, kale, and sweet potatoes. So we'll do that. Now we'll reach in for a little of our seasoning. And now we will put some more bechamel sauce on this layer. This does not have tomato sauce, like I mentioned earlier. And in Italy, they do make some lasagnas where there's no tomato sauce. They use this kind of nice white sauce. You could also make this dish with butternut squash and spinach if you didn't like kale and sweet potatoes. So now it's time for more pasta. I've got quite a few cracked ones, but that's all right. Push those down, and now we start layering again. And now we'll finish up with our remaining layer of pasta on the top, like that. We'll cover it up with the rest of our sauce bechamel. And by all means, you can use regular lasagna that you have to boil, and you could use fresh pasta too. So don't be confined to using the no boil like I did here. You try what works best for you. And now we'll put the remainder of our beautiful cheese on top. And it looks almost good enough to eat now. Another pinch of our house seasoning. And this will go into a 350-degree oven for about 35 minutes until it's well cooked. I'll show you what it looks like when I take it out. Oh yeah. Look how gorgeous that looks. Beautifully brown. That bechamel gets a nice golden brown. The cheese is melted, and happy times here at Harvest Eating Studio Kitchen. All right, let's serve it up. We're going to put it on a nice pretty plate, and I'm going to show you how I'd like to present it. We'll take a nice square. Oh yeah, it's got that sort of crispy, cheesy top thing going on. Beautiful. Oh man, look at that. That's hot. Whew. So there's a nice serving. You can see all those gorgeous layers that it has in there. Now how I like to serve it is I'll take a little rosemary, and we'll just come back right here and put the rosemary in there. And then this is a little balsamic syrup. It's balsamic vinegar that's been reduced. There's a quick tip video on the website showing you how to do this. And we'll take a little of that balsamic syrup and just put a little drizzle on the plate and over our lasagna, not too much. There you have an unbelievable vegetarian lasagna. Give that a try. I know you're going to love that one.
The Harvest Eating community celebrates the benefits of a healthy eating lifestyle through seasonal, organic, and local foods. To view more of Chef Snow's recipe videos and to experience the Harvest Eating lifestyle, visit harvesteating.com. Harvest Eating, 4 seasons, 1 lifestyle.